What's going on out there, Crypto Nation? How are y'all doing today? It's February 3rd, 2019, Super Bowl Sunday. We're just going to do a quick little rundown before I go to my Super Bowl festivities. This is No Noise and your host, Z-Rex. This one is not live, as y'all can probably tell. So we're going to try to do some lightning TA for this video here. All right. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Waste no time because I'm sure y'all got a lot to do today. Getting ready. All right. So here's Mama Bear checking it out. Just kind of the same noise that we were talking about a couple days ago. Nothing really too new. Let's start here on the daily. You can see we got this support here trying to trickle down, but pretty much in the same range in about the 3250 area. Still continuously getting rejected from this 21 exponential. Happened several times since we broke below it, so nothing too new there. Let's see if we can see anything on the internals. Nope. Bulls still in the weak zone on DMI and not quite there on the RSI yet, but it is below the 50 area. So nothing too exciting for bulls on that front. You can see we got this little spike up into the 55. We've seen that several times here, although the last time it did it, it made it up to the 144. We didn't even get that momentum this time, so that is pretty weak. And here we are coming on the 4-hour support of 3380s area. If this gets taken out, y'all, on this 4-hour time basis, which, we still got 2.5 hours roughly, and then that'll actually be the daily candle as well. So that's going to be pretty important. Actually, while I bring that up, let's go look. See this daily candle here, kind of depending what happens. It won't mean that much if it just stays in this area. But if it gets a little bit lower here, let's say 3350, you can't consider this kind of a bearish type engulfing pattern from the last, week or so of business. Back to the 4-hour. We are neutral, though, on the 4-hour. So that's interesting. But the RSI is starting to work its way down into the weak zone, which is below 30. No, not the overbought zone. That is incorrect terminology. But what about Investopedia? No. Sorry. You are seeing we are starting to get some acceleration here in the middle of this recording. This is the hourly. You can see it spiked up above the purple 144. It did that a couple times to tap on the longer term here and here, just as we previously discussed. Now it didn't even have enough momentum to get up to this area. So that's kind of telling me that the bears are pretty in play at this moment, and they are showing that on the DMI as well, getting back up into the power zone. And it is definitely worth noting that pretty much most of February, they have not been up there. And also at the same time, you have the bulls going into the weak zone, and a little bit more of this action, they will be going into the forgotten zone, which is definitely not where you want them to be. That has not happened on the bears or the bulls side since back over here on January 27th. They dipped down below it in the forgotten zone and then stayed below it for a while, and that was in this sell-off from about 35s to down to 3350 or so. So it's going to be probably hard to watch this when you're watching the Super Bowl, or maybe you're just watching the commercials, whatever your shtick is there. But just set alerts. That's the best way to do it. This will burn you out if you keep watching these charts all day, for sure. You can see I got my alerts right here, and I've got one up here, but I am going to ratchet that one down now that I'm looking at it, since we are struggling to get back over this exponential. So I'm going to put it kind of at this base. I'm going to just put it at a flat 3,500. I'm going to go ahead and edit that right now real fast. Oops, not 0.500. That's not going to work. And that'll coincide with this longer term moving average. I'm going to keep the downside one because I want to give it some room in case it does little fake outs. You know how Bitcoin loves to do that. Closing below this, though, is definitely going to give me longer term confirmation. I'm looking for that on a 4-hour too. But 4-hour bears, They're not in yet. They are still neutral. They did have this momentum from back here, so um, maybe they have a slight bias to the bearish side. But we can't really get too excited. Um, if you're a bear, I don't want to say that I'm just bearish. I'm just reading the chart here. This is just a bearish type pattern. But bears can't get too excited until a break of about 3,300 roughly. So if that happens, we're probably looking to do that measured target of this broken triangle, which sits at around the top of this box, maybe 28 to 2,900. Let's just call it 28 to 3,000, because that would still be an over 10% drop from these price levels. All right. And, it wouldn't surprise me that the big move, whether it's to the upside as well, happens here on Super Bowl Sunday when no one is watching. Again, I have to just lean a little bit bearish just because of this daily price action just ratcheting down the 21 exponential. And on this third attempt, it's already getting rejected, and there's quite a bit of space here. These last ones, as we showed earlier when we zoomed in, they had some decent momentum and had immediate rejections. You're already getting those rejections without even tapping the 20. The 21. 3-day. Where is that support? It's just ratcheting down the dotted lines, so it's already getting into this green box zone. You're not really getting that much from the 3-day, except that the bears are still very firmly in control. You can see in this sideways action, they are just staying right on the threshold for the power zone. And I believe that's the case on the weekly as well, yes. And the weekly is starting to curl back up a little bit. So, if we just kind of stay in this range, it won't be too exciting. But in the next 3 hours or so, if this gets some momentum, that's going to be a really bad sign for the bulls. I'm still short. Not hugely short, just a little bit speculative, mostly just hedging my long positions. But I will add heavy to short. So once we break 32, 32.50, kind of depending on how it gets there. So that's kind of how I'm playing this right now. It's not looking super, super great for the bulls. Let's go to Ethereum real quick. Ethereum still is agreeing with all this. You can see all these stacked moving averages right here on an hourly. Let's go to 4-hour. So it's going to kind of show the same area, which is that $100 to $112 range. Yeah, right here. So like 110, 111 is turning into hard resistance here now. And you can see the bears are starting to get some pretty serious momentum. Again, we haven't had the bulls or the bear. Well, I guess they did blip down here in the forgotten zone just for a second on this big pump. But this looks like it was just a liquidation to create some liquidity up here high to dump into, as we've seen several times here and also right here. So this just looks like another one of those. And now we are getting RSI on the hourly about to be below 30. The last time that we had forgotten zone was about the same time we just discussed on Bitcoin, which is back here around the 27th when this big dump happened. Let's see, Litecoin. Actually, sorry, let's go to a 3-day on there, and then we'll check out the daily again. Yeah, the 3-day, though, has got priced way down here. That's pretty wild on this triple exponential. That's kind of scary. Not that it's going to go down there or anything. That's not what that means, but it's just showing like some pretty serious weakness. Again, on the daily, too, look at this. Comes up to the middle of the channel that's existed all the way from the highs of 1400-ish, getting massively rejected on this candle, and it's been selling off ever since, ratcheting down the 21 exponential. And you can see too the blue dotted line here, which is the triple exponential. Usually that'll start cutting in underneath it, kind of like over here to make support. You can see when it broke, had a few days and then dumped. It's above it right now. So that is also confirming that bears are in control at the moment. Still same thing. Weekly has been bearish controlled on the DMI all the way back since August 20th. So, yeah, we're just not seeing anything that we're out of the woods yet. Unfortunately, I would love for it to be bullish right now, but I'm just not seeing the chart isn't really telling me that right now, because it is much easier to trade in a bullish market, that's for sure. But hey, if you're trading good right now in this bear market, give yourself a pat on the back because it is not easy. All right, let's go to Litecoin, see if it's showing us the kind of the same deal. It is indeed. Looks like we're getting some pretty. Let's start at the daily and ratchet down. I guess Litecoin looks a little bit better off of this, right? It's not well below the 21, so that is interesting. Litecoin did lead this little pump right here. So if Litecoin doesn't break 30 bucks, 31 bucks, we'll call it. That's going to be pretty interesting to me. But again, I put my weight on Mama Bear, on the Bitcoin Mama. So let's zoom in a little bit real quick. Finding a little support right now on the 21 4-hour, getting neutral here. And let's see on the hourly. Yeah, kind of similar to the other majors. Starting to get pretty bearish. And that's about it. With that said, like I said, I wanted to keep this real short and sweet. We'll just wrap up real fast with Mama Bear once more. Here we go. Again, getting a little dumpy. This is not sexy price action on the hourly. You do have the 21 back below the 55, and all of these are sloping down too. So that's not the best looking chart. Let's go to the 850 because we didn't look at that. Yeah, 850 is still bearish too. Getting rejected right here at the 21 yesterday, and looks like we're getting follow through on this too. On the 850, this actually looks a lot more bearish. Although it does still have about 7 hours to close, to be fair. But if it closes anywhere in this bottom range here on these tails, to me, that's going to be confirmation that we are going to test these lows over here. And then we'll just talk about what happens when price gets possibly down there, or maybe possibly back up here. No one knows shit, right? We're all watching the same movie, but right now price action is telling us this is pretty weak. All right, guys, hope y'all have fun at y'all Super Bowl festivities, all that good stuff. Drive safe, eat lots of food, some queso, some wherever you're from that's popular down here in the South. Melted cheese with some chips and stuff. It'll be great. All right, we'll do another video here tomorrow, and open up the week for the S&P and regular equities as well. So peace out. This has been No Noise with your host, Z-Rex. I'll holler at y'all guys tomorrow. Peace.